Things you didn't know about Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is one of the most unique players in NBA history. He comes from overseas and is pretty much unathletic, but he managed to take over the NBA by playing his own game. The Serbian is not the kind of person to enjoy media attention, so there are probably many things you don't know about him. Therefore, we created a list of 10 things you definitely want to hear about the two-time MVP. 2 liters of Coke every day. It's no secret that Jokic has always been chubby. Coming from Serbia, known for delicious food and pastries, young Nikola consumed plenty of it on a daily basis, and drank at least 2 liters of Coke daily. That was more than 1,000 calories per day, and we're talking about the time when he was in his early teens. Even when he started playing basketball, he ate half a kilo of Burek after the morning practice every day. It sounds a little crazy, but I've tried Burek and it is freaking delicious. Jokic cried before his first basketball practice. Nikola has 2 older brothers, whom we will discuss later in this video. Both of them played basketball, and when Nikola's dad tried to take him to his first practice, the 10-year-old Nikola started crying. He was terrified going into the gym, but once he realized he could actually play, he fell in love with the game. He started balling in a local club in his hometown Sombor. Although he was an overweight child, he was allowed to dribble the ball and was a point guard early on. He was a regular at the court in his school, which has a mural of him today, and where he still plays with the locals in the offseason. Jokic was discovered in a newspaper. You probably have never heard of Misko Raznatovic. He is a former player and a criminal lawyer who turned into basketball management. Misko was already a known agent with many star players under his wing. As usual, he was going through the sports page in the Serbian newspaper Zrnil when he saw an incredible stat sheet by a young kid playing for the junior team of Vojvodina. Raznatovic was and still is the chairman of the basketball club Mega Vizura. He asked around about that kid and afterwards told his people to sign him. So he literally signed Jokic to a contract based on a stat sheet in the paper without even seeing him. Could not do a single push-up. Jokic was 17 when he joined Mega Vizura, a Serbian team that is known for excellent player development. When Jokic arrived, he had size and great talent, but his physical shape was so bad that the team physio told the head coach that Jokic is incapable of practicing with the rest of the players because he will get hurt very quickly. Raznatovic and the coaching staff were patient enough and put him away for the rest of the team to practice individually to improve his physique. Jokic was so unathletic that he could not even do a single push-up. Jokic was MVP before you knew it. Being a unique talent, Jokic developed his game so fast that he became a serious player before he turned 19. In the 2014-15 season, Jokic won the MVP award of the ABA League, averaging 15.4 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. If you're questioning the level of the league, you shouldn't. It's one of the top 3 leagues in Europe, with many current and former NBA players coming out of it, such as Sasha Pavlovic, Vladimir Radmanovic, and Goran Dragic. You know who else is MVP? You are, for pressing that like and subscribe button. NBA was not a priority for Jokic. When he was 19 years old, it was obvious that Jokic is a world-class talent and many teams were interested in him. With Raznatovic being the basketball agent in Europe, he had the best team from the continent lining up to see Jokic. Nikola was aware that he is becoming an extraordinary player, but Raznatovic kept the scouting visits for himself. So one day, the scouts from Barcelona, one of the best teams in Europe, came to see Jokic, and they basically had a contract with him. Jokic wasn't aware of their presence and simply had one of those days when things didn't go well. He scored only 4 points in that game, with many turnovers and a poor shooting percentage. The Barcelona scouts took some time to think about it and never called back. The rest is history. Jokic slept over the NBA draft. Most NBA players will say that the night they were drafted is one of the happiest moments in their lives. That's the moment when all the hard work, sweat, and tears finally pay off. But not the Joker. The Denver Nuggets drafted Nikola Jokic with the 41st pick at the 2014 NBA draft. Given the fact the time zone difference with Serbia is 6 hours ahead of New York time, Jokic didn't even bother staying awake to see if his name would be called out. Maybe he made the right decision, since when his name was called, a Taco Bell commercial was broadcasted live, so there's not even decent footage of him being selected by the Nuggets. Nikola is the youngest of 3 brothers. Nikola has 2 older brothers, Strahinja and Nemanja, who live with him in Denver. When Jokic is asked if there's a player in the league he's scared of, he says that the only person in the world he's scared of is his oldest brother Strahinja. He is a 7-foot-tall former basketball player covered in tattoos, who has also worked as a security guard and bouncer. The one in the middle is Nemanja, who played basketball at the University of Detroit Mercy in the middle of the 2000s. That was the time when Darko Milicic, one of the biggest busts in NBA history, was a member of the Pistons. Nemanja and Darko were close friends, and he was able to see firsthand what happens to young players who indulge in luxury and partying instead of training and professionalism. Strahinja and Nemanja were aware that they had made a lot of bad choices in their lives, and were determined that Nikola will not go in the same direction. Jokic loves horses. Believe it or not, even though Jokic was always great at basketball, it was just a hobby for him. His true love was horse racing. Growing up, Jokic was spending a lot of time in the barn taking care of the horses. This may sound a little hard to believe, but trust me, Jokic loves his horses more than basketball. Jokic is trying to keep a distance from the media. He has no social media profiles, but once a year he sits down with the local reporters who broadcast NBA games in his native home of Serbia. When he was asked about the happiest moment in his life, he didn't say winning the MVP trophy. Instead, he pointed out the feeling when his horse won a race. Another bit of proof of his passion for horses is that the first thing he did after he signed a multi-million-dollar contract with the Nuggets is call his parents, saying, "Now we can buy a horse." Jokic is married to his sweetheart Natalia. Nikola and Natalia met when they were both teenagers, and Jokic was just a kid with a basketball dream. Jokic recalls that he met Natalia through a mutual friend on a bench in his hometown Sombor. As he says, he fell for her right away, but he was hiding his emotions and they were just friends for more than 6 months. When he opened up about it and told her he wanted to be more than just a friend, he didn't get any response from her. Soon after they started dating, Natalia went to the US to study psychology. His former coaches recall that Nikola lost interest even in basketball when she left. When Jokic moved to Denver to play basketball, the couple reunited and later got married in 2020. In September 2021, they welcomed their daughter named Ognjena. That's it for this video. Which of these facts was your favorite? Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.